Hello students! In our previous video, we learned that fission is one of the methods of asexual reproduction. Fission can be of two types, binary and multiple. In binary, one cell splits into two cells. I just said that last step of binary fission is splitting of cells. But how does the split happen is the most interesting part of this fission process. Let's see it. If cell was something like this, just a line having one dimension, then splitting is quite easy. Just from one point, it can split. That is, there will be only one plane to cut it. Isn't it? Yes. Or let me say if cell was something like this, say a rectangle or a square, having two dimensions, length and breadth, splitting can happen in two planes, one this way, along the horizontal plane, and the other is this way, along the vertical plane. But the problem with cells is that they are 3D, and the splitting of cell can happen in multiple planes. For example, say in a cell like amoeba, which has no shape, splits can happen in any plane, like this vertical, or like this horizontal, or like this at angles, or obliquely. Also for bacteria, splitting can happen in any plane. Of course, it is always ensured that there is no damage to DNA. So we can say that for some organisms like bacteria and amoeba, fission happens in any plane. In fact, students, in case of multiple fission in Plasmodium, plane of division is not fixed. It can happen in any plane. So we can say that fission here is irregular, and hence named irregular binary fission. However, for some organisms like Euglena or Leishmania or Paramecium, etc., it is very specific. And why so? Just like amoeba, they are also unicellular. Fission has to happen in fixed plane. It is because such organisms show more organization in their cells. Say for example Leishmania or Euglena, as you can see, have a whip-like or thread-like structure at one end of the cell. This thread-like structure is flagellum. And now because of this organization, fission can happen only along this plane. It cannot happen like this horizontally or obliquely like this. Because in all these cases, only one daughter cell will get flagellum, other will not. But only if they divide vertically, both cells will get one flagellum each. Thus here, in such organisms, fission happens in vertical plane and so called as longitudinal fission. Now students, also note one point. Binary fission in Euglena starts from the flagellar end, while binary fission in Leishmania starts from the opposite end. Now what about Paramecium? Splitting in them happens in horizontal plane. And can you tell me why? Because of this oral groove present in them. Here, if fission happens vertically or obliquely, then only one cell will get oral groove. And thus, cell divides in horizontal plane like this, so that both the cells get oral groove. And this type of fission is called transverse fission. And what about this weird looking unicellular organism? It is Paramecium. Fission happens here at an angular axis. It is called as oblique fission. So students, what we have seen is that in some organisms, fission may be irregular. That is, it does not follow any particular plane for dividing. While in some, it can be in a fixed plane. It can be vertical, called as longitudinal fission. It can be horizontal, called as transverse fission, or at an angle, called as oblique fission. In next video, we will see another mode of asexual reproduction, that is budding.